the title of this session is Render LaTeX in Multiple Ways. And we can put the emphasis on various things. It can be the multiple, it can be the ways, and we can put the emphasis on the LaTeX. I'm starting with LaTeX as the starting point because that's the way most people think. But actually, if you're generating HTML, PDF, and EPUB, you want a starting point, and LaTeX might or might not be the right starting point, but it's where the history starts. So let's start there. So I'm going to start with what Don Knuth did, because he was rendering in multiple ways when he was developing tech. And one form of that was literate programming. So when you're writing a computer program, you're telling the computer what to do, and you're also explaining to a human being what it is that the computer should be doing and why you're issuing that instruction to the computer. Now, Don Knuth also found that the way we think and the way we tell a story is different from the way the computer thinks and reads a story. So you don't want to have to write all your initialization code all at once at the very beginning of the program, but that's the way the computer wants to read it. The computer wants to say, well, what is it you need to initialize? And as you go through the program, you find you need to initialize something else. And you don't want to go back to the beginning and say, add this to initialization side. So he invented literate program to do these two things. The one is reordering, putting things in a different order, and also providing it, making it easier to navigate. So you can have everything associated with fonts in one place, even though the initialization code is done in one place and something else is done in another place. And then he had two programs, Weave and Tangle. And if I get it right, Weave produced a tech file that you could typeset, and Tangle produced a source code program that you could compile. So the source code for tech and for Metafont and for the computer modern fonts are all published in these beautifully typeset books, and the source file is a mixture of instructions and what we might call comments. But that's an example of a system where you have two different sorts of output from the same source file, and those outputs have got different purposes. One of the outputs is for the human reader, and the other is for the compiler on the operating system.